Hello everyone, it is time for a new video and today we are doing my first of the year fall recommendations. So I was gonna do this a little bit earlier, but I actually went on like a beach vacation throughout the middle of September, and so I'm starting my fall reading a little bit later, but I have plenty of recommendations to give you for this whole, fall season. I have a mixture of like YA and adult, romance, fantasy, paranormal, a little bit of everything, and I will definitely be doing other recommendation videos as I read more books as well. But let's dive straight in because I already have a lot to talk about. So I have my laptop here and let's talk about all the books. Also, I'm sorry in advance for the unbelievable amount of times I'm about to say fall and vibes and all of that. It's gonna happen repeatedly for sure. But the first book I have here is actually, I'm gonna say two books at the same time because it's the same author. So it is Fan Service and Do Your Worst by Rosie Danan. This one is a paranormal romance. So we have an actor who plays a werewolf on a TV show and he finds himself turning into an actual werewolf in real life. And he finds the help of Alex, who basically is a big fan of the show and she knows so much about it. She writes about it online and stuff. And so he seeks her out for her to help him with like figuring out what's happening to him and, all those werewolf things, even though she obviously thought all of that was fiction. And I loved this so much. It's definitely like very lighthearted. It feels quite like rom-com-y. And it's not the most hardcore paranormal book. Like it's a mixture of contemporary and paranormal, I would say, but it's super entertaining. So much fun. And I love books about acting and stuff. And so I loved that that was like a part of the story. It felt different and unique from other paranormal books that I've read. So I absolutely loved this. Entertaining, steamy, fun, and all of that. And then this one actually came before. I think maybe even because of that, I might love this more. And this one definitely is cozier, I would say. So we have, this one also is the Afterlight edition. So it is one of my most prized possessions because I don't have a lot of those. So the normal cover looks completely different from this, but I love this book so much. So we have our heroine who breaks curses, and she comes to this small Scottish town, and she's supposed to break a curse of this castle that's been cursed for a very long time. The small town is really struggling because of it, and one of the locals is very skeptical. He doesn't believe that anything like that is real. He is very, all about science and that kind of thing. And so, of course, the two of them are gonna have a romance. And I loved this so much. So there's kind of like more, like the curse happening and like some more ghostly vibes and stuff like that. So it's more of the atmosphere that's kind of like spooky and not really that there's like actual paranormal creatures and stuff like that. But it feels so cozy, like rainy weather, Scottish town kind of a vibe, and I loved it so much. It is so funny and fun, enemies to lovers, forced proximity. There's so many like unique scenes between the two main characters that I adored, and you just need to read it. It is incredible, and definitely pick it up. The next book that I have here is one of my all-time favorites, which I will never shut up about, and that is The Undertaking of Heart and Mercy by Megan Bannon. I absolutely love this book. I've read it twice so far. Honestly, I'm ready for another reread already, and this is an adult fantasy romance, and it's enemies to lovers, and it has the most genius thing I've ever heard of. So in contemporary romance, it often happens that there's like the "you've got mail" trope, right? Which means that like they hate each other in real life and they're best friends online. And there is a variation of that in this book, but in a fantasy setting. And I loved that so much. I think that there's nothing better than that dynamic of like being friends in one layer and being enemies in another. I think there's nothing more intimate than that. And it is just absolutely genius and incredible. And at the same time, this book is cozy and adventurous and meaningful and emotional. And it has so many things packed into this perfect package, and it is absolutely spectacular, perfect for the fall vibes, perfect any other time. But especially now, absolutely pick this up if you haven't yet. I still have been procrastinating on reading the other book in the series, but it will be happening for me definitely this month or next month. So yeah, definitely pick this one up. The next one that I have here has very different vibes, and that is Phantom Hearts by Rosie Talbot and Sarah Maxwell. So this is a graphic novel and it's YA and it's more like on the ghost side, emotional, sad, dealing with death. So there's like a crash of a bus and a lot of the students die. And so the main character basically then starts seeing them as ghosts and they have unfinished business. And she, you know, like spends time with them and they have to deal with all of that. And there's like friendships and some like romantic things and, you know, again, dealing with like all the like dying and unfinished business and all of that. And I felt like this was just really unique and meaningful and emotional. And I love the art style so much. I don't know if you can like see anything that well like this, but it's gorgeous. And so I highly recommend it. And you know, this obviously has quite a lot of characters. So definitely pick this one up as well. Then I have to recommend What the Hex by Alexis Daria. So this one is a novella. So if you just want to squeeze in a quick read with the perfect fall vibes, you need to read this. So this one, we have this, like, I think it's a wedding, and like all the people around there are witches. And there is this curse and this demon, and basically all the wedding participants are under this curse. Except for our two main characters who are nemesis and, you know, they've known each other for a while and they hate each other and all that good stuff and they need to work together to break this curse. And so it is super fun, angsty, you know, there's fun family dynamics, it's cute, it's a little steamy, it's entertaining, and I loved it. You know, it's a perfect like bite-sized read and you should absolutely pick it up. I love Alexis Daria so much and I really wish she wrote more books like this because this was just so much fun. I definitely will be rereading it. So the next one I have is also very different and I am actually very happy with the selection. Like I feel like there are actually some different vibes and I'm loving that. And yes, I said vibes again. So that is Us in Ruins by Rachel Moore. And this one I described in my review in like 4 words, not actually 4 words, but like anyways, urban fantasy set in Pompeii, lots of adventure and a sweet romance. So the main character basically wants to find and reassemble an ancient cursed vase and she's gonna do that with the help of a boy who is basically like turned in stone and he's a statue and he, you know, like went missing a long time ago and they work together and so it's like a quest, adventure type of a thing, and it felt kind of like a movie that I've seen before that I can't exactly name because I feel like a lot of movies have this vibe, but like in a book form, and I absolutely loved that because I've never read anything like this, and so it feels different but very adventurous. It's not cozy and like fall-ish in the same way as like some of the others, but I feel like it works. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but it works. And if you want to break from like the basic kind of like very similar stuff, definitely pick this one up. The next one I have to talk about is Cemetery Boys by Aiden Thomas. And while I know this book is super popular and beloved, I have not heard enough people recommend it in this, you know, time. And so I will be using this as an excuse to talk about it again. And I desperately need to finally buy a physical copy and reread it. But this book is a masterpiece. There's nothing that screams fall more than this, to be honest, and at the same time, it is just absolutely incredible as a book on its own. And yeah, so if you somehow have not read this yet, it is about Yadriel, who wants to prove to his family that he's a real brujo, and he basically performs this ritual that he wants to like summon his cousin who was murdered, and he accidentally summons a different boy instead, a boy who is very handsome, you know, very rebellious as well, because he wants to, like, you know, the second he like is summoned, he's like, okay, I need to find out what happened to me and all of that. He's not gonna go down quietly, you know, and so they both kind of take it from there. And it is so, like, I don't even know where to begin. It's angsty, it's emotional, it's sweet, it's meaningful, it's like, it will wreck you, it will also put the pieces back together. It is incredible and I cannot recommend it enough. And so yeah, if you haven't read it somehow, please, please, please do yourself a favor and pick it up. Okay, Next one, I recently read, I think like a month ago. So this is one of the most recent recommendations that I can give. And I adored every second. And that is The Marriage Hex by Sarah Blue. And thank God I read it right on time because she actually has a new book coming out. Actually, this week, I need to check if it's not out already as I'm like saying this. But I am so happy. So anyway, this one is incredible. So this is like a paranormal rom-com, but done in the most spectacular way. I think it's maybe my favorite out of the ones that have this kind of a like genre and vibe. And I'm gonna read you like the stuff that I put on my Goodreads. The way that I look absolutely insane like this. So I said it has a paranormal romance, of course, a witch and a werewolf, they're mates, and they have to marry because of a hex. It's second chance, it's friends to enemies to lovers, forbidden romance, and I also said that is the perfect mixture of romance, steam, and adventure. And oh my god, like I loved every second. So they basically made a pact when they were best friends to marry each other if they were still single by 30. And they didn't know that it was actually like kind of like a curse and something they had to stick to. And so they actually have to get married. It is juicy, it is amazing, it is entertaining. I inhaled this book and I will be buying the other one whenever it comes out, which again is soon or maybe right now. So the second I see it at a bookstore, it's gonna be mine right away. The next one I have to recommend is Witch of Wild Things by Raquel Vasquez Gilliland. And this one I feel is severely underrated and I need more people to read it because it is so beautifully cozy and meaningful and special, and I adored it and I need everyone to read it. I also need to read the second book in the series. And so basically in this family, all the women have a touch of magic. The main character has like, she can communicate with like plants and flowers, and she has to basically work with the guy who broke her heart in high school. And I feel like that sounds very simple, but this book is really just deeply emotional and meaningful and cozy and like so many different things. Like it definitely isn't the type of book that is just like about aesthetics or the certain vibe. It is so much deeper than that, but at the same time the vibes are still there. And you know, it's about community and strong family relationships and unique magic, and this romance is so like tender and beautiful and wonderful, and I cannot recommend it enough. Literally, please just pick this book up. Like, you need to read it. The next one is The Kiss Curse by Erin Sterling. So I feel like this one definitely is not underrated. A lot of people talked about it, but I still want to talk about it because I did really love it and I did enjoy it more than the other books by this author. And so I think if you did not love the first book, maybe I still think you should read this. Batteries flashing. So I'll try to make this quick. I also listed some tropes and stuff. So, rivals to lovers, witchy vibes in a small town, bisexual heroine who's flirty and charming, and a hero who's a little uptight, but turns out he's very sexy. The main characters don't like each other that much, but they have to work together again, and they kiss because of a love spell, but oops, maybe it's just because they're really attracted to each other. And it's lighthearted, funny, fast-paced, and overall super entertaining. So I need to reread this. To be honest, I don't remember all these details, which is why I thought it would be easier to read it anyways. But I loved it, and you should absolutely pick it up. Definitely another like very addicting quick read. Of course, my camera did die. But I have just one more book to talk about, which is A Duchess a Day by Karis Michaels. And this one I randomly remembered. I just saw the cover in my head, and it's definitely giving like autumnal, and it is a historical romance, and I definitely want to recommend that more, not only because I love historical romance and I think more people need to read it. A lot of people could love it if they found the ones that work for them, you know? And so I feel like the whole genre generally is so cozy and perfect for like a rainy day and all of that. Like, no matter what, most historical romances to me feel very cozy, and I always like to read them in like the colder months. But this one, of course, we also have the cover. I don't really remember if there's like scenes and stuff fall specific, but whatever, it will definitely do the job. And it's also a book that I really love. We have a Snow White retelling, and it is a bodyguard romance, so the hero is hired to be the heroine's bodyguard, and they go on like a road trip together, and it's a forbidden romance. And I feel like we don't see the bodyguard trope that often in historical, and I loved it. It is so much fun. It's beautiful. Again, cozy, steamy, fun, romantic, and you should absolutely read it. So that will be all for today. I feel like I am all talked out, so I'm gonna go read some more autumnal books to give you recs in the future. I hope you enjoyed this video and you got some good recommendations out of it. Please let me know what autumnal books you love or you want to read. And if you made it this far in the video, leave any kind of witchy emoji down below. And thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. And I'm going to see you very soon in another video. Bye!